without you.
You'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah, so let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of maybe?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're an illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass.
I got you, Shannon.
You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release from your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, notice to appear, which is to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people, okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we mapped the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep,
No.
They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I'd have believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone through, on every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people, in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote.
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That is already happening. Right now. Yeah. And the truly disturbing thing, though, I just want you to know this, a truly disturbing thing to me, and the darkest thing about this to me, the voter fraud is terrible, but the human tragedy this created is extraordinary, because what you don't understand, and people don't know, and Americans need to know, that's why I'm here, is that human traffickers made $13 to $15 billion off of this. Okay? That's the money that's going around the world, moving people around the world to our borders because of these incentives. How does it work? What happens? Hey, if you're in Africa and you're in Central America, you got to walk up through Mexico, through Central America. Who do you pay? You pay the narcos, you pay the traffickers, right? And we were told by ICE, it's between $20,000 and $500, depends where they pick you up, to walk across all those countries and get all the way up to the border. Where's that money goes? It goes to the cartels. It goes to human traffickers, right? There are 30,000 children that have not appeared on the notice to appear already. ICE knows this. 30,000 children, 270,000 children didn't even get notices to appear. ICE told us that kids are being trafficked back and forth across the border to complete families to make this easier. This is a human tragedy. It's not just the money, it's the people and the kids. And how many of these people died on the way up here that didn't make it in? What happened to them? We created a system here that created an incentive for people to come and be taken advantage of by these traffickers. And how do you think they get paid? What, you're in Africa, Central America, you got $20,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 to pay these traffickers? No, you don't. What happens? You come in, then you owe them the money. You're an indentured servant. If you don't pay them, what happens? What do? They kill your mother, they kill your brother, they kill your family. What happens next? That's what we discovered. And I have to tell you, it's tragic to me. The tragedy, the human tragedy this created is extraordinary. That's the real problem. This is America. We don't do this here in America.
Yeah.
We don't do this here in America.
All right, so we were able to hear that, right? So shout out to anybody that happened to just leave a comment, stay directly through to listen, right? So I want to just highlight, two things that I was able to see before. I had one person earlier that stated this. So now we're supposed to believe whatever the white South African states. And then we have another person that stated that he's just throwing out numbers to make his lies sound better to ignorant people, right? Now, again, shout out to people that just so happen to leave their comments and everything like that, right? So I tend to show off these videos to just get the wheel going, to try to have people, think and look, about certain things. But as I've stated before, no problem, right? It is completely fine to not believe what somebody says. Now it comes to a point in time in determining if the fact from fiction, right? If it's true or not. So this is what I decided to do once I was able to see the video, right? I decided to type in, and anybody can do it. Go to ChatGPT, go to Grok, go to DeepSeek or whatever it is, right? And I typed in a few things, right? One of the things I typed in is that, can immigrants get Social Security number? Right. So let me see if I can put that response in front of you. I got to find this here because I want to try to lay this out as easy as possible so that other people can just so happen to see it. I got to kind of zoom this out here. There we go. Okay. Right. So you can see that, you can kind of see it directly in front of you. Right. They said, no, illegal immigrants cannot obtain a Social Security number or an SSN for work or government benefits. However, there are some exceptions where they may receive an individual taxpayer identification number or an ITIN from the IRS to pay taxes, but this does not grant a legal status or eligibility for Social Security benefits. The only case where a non-citizen can get a Social Security number are: one, lawfully present immigrants with work authorization, such as a green card, card holder, refugee, or those of certain visas. Number two, non-citizens eligible for benefits, such as some asylum applicants or individuals with temporary protected status, right? So they said undocumented immigrants are not eligible for SSN unless they obtain legal status. So remember that, right? This is going to be very important with the information that I'm going to read to you a little bit later. Another one that he listed was talking about the judges, right? So what is the average wait time for immigration judges? Let me just copy that and put that in front of you so you can see it. They also have the sources right below there, because I know how a lot of people get like, oh, what are your sources? what are you? You're just saying stuff. You're not listing in the source, right? So I got you, no problem. So again, you can type this in just like I did. It said, as of March of 2024, the average wait time for an immigration asylum hearing in the United States is approximately 3.9 years, right? Because remember, he told you it was 6. So let's keep going. So, which is approximately 1,424 days. The duration has increased over the years due to a growing backlog of cases in immigration court system. For instances, in 2022, the average adjudication time for an asylum claim was 3 years, which extended to 5 years by 2024, right? So again, remember, he says 6 years. Wait times can vary significantly depending on the specific immigration court handling the case. For example, in Omaha, Nebraska, immigration court has reported average wait times approaching 6 years or 2,168 days. So what he stated lines up with what I was able to research right there, right? So that's number one. That's hit number one, right? So again, we're going through breaking this down. So now we're going to go through the forms that he was talking about, right? He listed form I-65. So let me put that directly in front of you. Let me get rid of the previous things that I had up there. All right, let me see. Form I-765. Okay, that's the difference. There we go. So it's directly in front of you again. You can look up any of the information that you are able to see, right? So I typed in, what is document 765, because I didn't know that it was an I in front of it. It said form I-765, officially known as the application for employment authorization, is a form issued by the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or the USCIS, that allows certain non-citizens to apply for a work permit or employment authorization document, or an EAD, in the United States, who can apply for an I-765 form permit. The I-765 form is used by various categories of immigrants, including asylum seekers with pending or approved asylum cases, DACA recipients, deferred action up for childhood arrivals, TPS holders, temporary protected status, certain student visa holders, F1 students under OPT/STEM OPT, applicants for adjustment of status or green card, certain spouses of visa holders, e.g. H4, L2, E2 spouses. How long does it take to process? Processing times vary depending on the category of application, but it can take up to 3 to 12 months on average. Expedited processing is available in certain urgency cases, right? So then I typed in, what is work form 766? So let me put that directly in front of you as well. Because again, these are things that I didn't know anything about. So, as I'm learning, hopefully you guys are, learning as well. Let me see. So I didn't actually have them. Okay, so let me actually give you guys, let me clip that for you. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure to take a picture. I thought I had a picture of, oh, no, actually, okay, I did. I actually had the right one. I thought it was a completely different one. Let me go back. All right, so this is what I have here, right? So it says that Form I-766 refers to the employment authorization document, or the EAD itself, which is a physical card issued by the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, the USCIS, that proves a non-citizen is authorized to work in the United States. Key differences between Form I-765 and I-766. Form I-765, the application form to use a request for work authorization. Form I-766, the actual work permit card issued upon approval. What does the I-766 card include? Full name of the card holder, USCIS number or the alien number, which again, that's weird to say. Card expiration date, work authorization category, e.g. CO8 for asylum applicants, CO9 for green card applicants, and etc. Who gets a I-766 card? Non-citizens who successfully apply for work authorization through Form I-765 and get approved receive a I-766 EAD card. This is commonly used by asylum seekers or DACA recipients, TPS holders, and others awaiting permanent residency for certain visa approvals, right? So then I wanted to type in some information, right? Because I'm like, all right, they get all of this. So what about the social security aspect directly of it that they were, bringing up. And this is something I've brought up a multitude of times. And I've had people tell me like, oh no, you can't sit up there and get a social security number, yada, 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 all that other good stuff. Right. And this is what I was able to get. Let me just actually just take a picture. Right. Let me clip that right there. Make sure. Yeah, okay. We got it. Put that directly in front of you guys as I go so we can all keep track. Right? So this is what I was able to get. Let me see. Let me go back. Yeah, okay. So I typed in, after getting an I-766, will I get a social security number? And I typed it as if I am an illegal immigrant to get this information, right? They said, yes, in most cases, if you receive an employment authorization document or an EAD form, an I-766, and you don't already have a social security number, an SSN, you can get one. So again, this is another hit because he clearly stated that the people who are not supposed to be here, they just come, directly over, they seek asylum, whatnot, or whatever, they can pretty much expedite themselves and just automatically get issued a SSN, right? So I listed you the two documents of which that he mentioned, right? So again, we're using critical thinking, we're researching, we're looking up the information directly for ourselves in order to find out if this is true or not, or if this is just some things that they want to say in order to lambaster another group of people for no reason. Right, in order to just say that they're doing something that they're not really doing, which is quote unquote finding corruption. Again, we got two forms by way of the United States government, which these people can just so happen to get in order to get monies, in order to get a work permit, visa, all of this other type of stuff. And when they just so happen to do both of those forms, have the other identification that they may just so need or maybe not need, they can get a social security number. Right. So then it says how to get an SSN after receiving a EAD or an I-766. They said if you applied for an SSN or form I-76, if you've checked off box on form I-765 requesting an SSN, the Social Security Administration or the SSA will automatically issue you a SSN card after your EAD is approved. You should receive your SSN card in the mail within a few weeks after getting your EAD. If you did not request an SSN on form I-765, you must visit a local Social Security office in person, bring your EAD card or your I-766 passport if available, your I-95 if applicable, and any other required documents. The SSA will process your application and you should receive your SSN card in the mail within 2 to 4 weeks, right? So the next thing that they just so happened to went over, there was like, hey, what about this this whole thing, right? Dealing with voting, right? Because again, that wouldn't make sense. Why would people who just got here, why would they be, able to vote and so on and so on and so on, right? So this is what I was able to pull up as well. Again, anything that I'm looking up, you can clearly do directly for yourself. Use Grok, ChatGPT 4.0, DeepSync, all these, other types of AI and get the information. And it'll also list you some sources as well. So this is what they stated. Said, no, having a social security number does not mean that you can vote in the United States elections. Only United States citizens are allowed to vote in federal elections, such as presidential and congressional elections. Who can vote in the United States citizens born or naturalized, and must meet state-specific requirements, e.g. age and residency. Must be registered to vote, right? Completely. I agree. No problem. Who cannot vote? Non-citizens, including green card holders, visa holders, and undocumented immigrants. So again, before we got to this information, we listed all of those people up above. But even with all of the information up above, we were then able to realize and find out that these people are able to get a social security number, which again makes no sense, right? Because to my knowledge, in order to get a social security number, you had to be born here, right? Because I was born here. My parents were born here. Grandparents were born here. We received, our birth certificate, social security, all of those things, right? So we're registered, right? So next they said individuals with work permits, EAD, but no United States citizenship. Next they said some felonies depending on state laws, right? After that they said even if you have a social security number, an SSN, or a work permit, an EAD form I-766, you cannot legally vote unless you have United States citizenship. Voting illegally can result in serious consequences, including deportation or denial of future immigration benefits, right? So again, that goes right back to what he stated at the first part where he was like, hey, within this certain specific group of people that were listing, like these millions, we found that people voted illegally. And because they voted illegally, we sat up there and gave the information to the government, to ICE, and their deportation process is in the works at this moment in time. So again, that's another hit. So again, we are matching up the things that were stated directly in the video, and we are able to factually see this for ourselves, right? By way of looking this up, doing on research and everything like that, right? So the next one I did put, I'm not sure if I actually clipped this one or not, but I'm going to clip this one and put this up there. It might be a little bit of a rehash, but it doesn't matter because we're just going over information. So the next one that I wanted to put up there is this. Let me clip that up there for you, which is this one here, right? So I simply asked, how can immigrants vote in the United States? They said immigrants can only vote in the United States if they become United States citizens through naturalization. Non-citizens, including green card holders and those with work permits or EADs, cannot vote in federal elections. However, some local jurisdictions allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. How can immigrants vote in the United States? Number one, become a United States citizen through naturalization. Be a permanent resident, green card holder, or at least 5 years or 3 years if married to a United States citizen. Number two, meet residency. I'm sorry, well, that's not number two, but you get what I'm saying. Meet residency or good moral character requirements. Pass the United States citizenship test and take the oath of allegiance. Once naturalized, registered to vote in federal, state, and local elections. Number two, in some local elections as a non-citizen. A few cities, e.g., San Francisco, New York, and some in Maryland, allow non-citizens to vote in certain elections and local elections like school board votes. Next, they said rules vary by location, and these votes do not apply to state or federal elections. They said, important reminder, voting as a non-citizen in federal or state elections is illegal and can lead to deportation or denial of United States citizenships, right? So just in case people may have a problem because, hey, you used AI to, basically look these things up. What's the other information that you have? What's the actual like real sources? Government websites, all of that type of stuff, right? No problem, no problem. So let me put up these images directly for you because I know that some people, like to get in a whole tizzy directly about that. So bam, there you go, directly in front of you, right? So we have this one is dealing with the I-765. So let me go directly to that website. So this is from an official website of the United States government. So if anybody out there has an issue with me using AI to look up this information, guess what? We also got it from the United States government. So if you got a problem with that, I don't know what to sit up there and tell you, right? So if you clearly go to the website that you see in front of you, said at the top left corner, it says an official website of the United States government, class. United States Citizens and Immigration Services. This was the exact same thing that was listed from the AI, where they told us how this whole thing works, right? So that's one source just in case people have a problem, right? So next, let's put up the other site because you gotta keep going with this because people be having all types of complications, right? And more than likely you can go back to the exact same well, matter of fact, I actually got it again for the exact same site, right? That's the 765. Let me go back. Let me go back. Hold up. Because the other one that I used was this one. This is a different site, and this is for those looking for the applications. This one is dealing with the Citizens Path, right? Immigration forms made simple, right? So if anybody's an immigrant coming, directly from wherever across the world, you basically go directly to this website and they give you all the information that you need, right? They explain what an employment authorization document directly is. Again, that's directly what I read off to you. They talk about the request for an EAD, eligibility for the employment authorization document, the EAD validity period, all the documents that you need, the renewal and the replacement as well. And they also have other immigration forms such as Form I-90, 129, 130, 131, 130. wait, 131A. Like I said, they got a whole bunch of forms directly down there, right? I'm pretty sure they got some links down there to put you directly towards government websites as well. I'm just showing off multiple websites where I got information directly from multiple sources, right? And not just the AI, doing work or listing things directly for me, right? One of the other websites that we had here was this one here, right? So let me go back up, make sure I'm talking from the right one. Applying for Social Security. So as you see directly in front of you, this is again an official website of the United States government, right? Social Security. Apply for Social Security card while applying for your work permit, lawful permit, residency, or United States naturalization. So again, it seems as though what they were stating, they didn't miss. It seems like they did not miss when they were speaking and when they put up that chart or that graph to specifically let people know, like, hey, this is problematic. People actually need to look at this. Why is this even happening? Why is this, allowed, right? So the next one that we had was dealing with the voting, right? Because that was something that they wanted to go directly over. So let me put that directly in front of you as well. And this is coming from another website. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay, there we go. So again, you can type this directly into your computer, however you want to sit up there and do it, if you even care to do it. You can go, what is it? It's called Ballotpedia. It says, search the Encyclopedia of American Politics, laws permitting non-citizens to vote in the United States, right? This article covers non-citizens voting in the United States. It includes background information about the issues, language and federal law and state constitutions, details about municipalities that allow non-citizens voting, and list of states where it is prohibited. According to the Pew Research Center, there were over 25 million people living in the United States in 2020 who were not United States citizens. This includes approximately 12 million people 12 million permanent residents living in the United States with legal permissions, as well as 2 million temporary residents visiting the United States for a period of time as students, tourists, foreign workers, foreign officials, and etc. Pew's figures also include approximately 11 million immigrants living in the United States illegally. In 1996, the United States Congress passed a law prohibiting non-citizens from voting in the United States elections, including elections for the United States House and the United States Senate and presidential elections. This law does not apply to elections for the state or local offices. Right? Highlights. They said, as of March of 2025, no state constitution explicitly allows non-citizens to vote in the state or local elections. 15 states explicitly prohibit non-citizen voting in state and local elections. The District of Columbia and municipalities in 3 states allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. And 8 states approve ballots measure prohibiting non-citizens voting in 2024. So anybody that's a United States citizen, born and raised, all that good stuff, explain to me, if we're supposed to be the United States of America, why are we not united across the board when it deals with very important issues? If you got somebody that just, got here, just fresh off the boat, whatever it is, why would you allow them to even vote locally? That doesn't even make any type of sense. If you're not going to allow them to vote for a president or people in the House or the Senate, why would you allow them to vote locally? That doesn't make any sense. That goes right back to what Elon was stating, where he was like, hey, the Democrats are trying to make every state pretty much deep blue, right? And by way of doing that, that means that they were able to vote locally, right? So again, that's a little bit problematic. Why was that even allowed? Why is the United States not making a blanketed law across all states that state that, hey, if you are not from here, if you are not just like, if you didn't go through all of the hoops and loops to be a naturalized or a pure United States citizen, you are not able to vote. It don't matter if you got a social security number and you're paying taxes. No. You're not sitting up there voting. It's great that you want to work. It's great that you want to pay taxes. It's great that you want to buy a home and a car and all this stuff. You ain't sitting up there about to be doing all that. Because again, that can lead towards things being lopsided. That can lead towards, let's say, people in government paying for votes, right? And let me just mention what I mean by that, right? So let me go by one of the examples that I did on the story, such as this. right? And this is one of the old. I did a lot of stories dealing with like immigrants and how it is that they're getting, you know, money and all this stuff. Illinois provides 9,000 in rental assistance to migrants seeking temporary housing. Now, I want y'all to understand. I'm not sure if anybody remembers the housing crisis. I remember. Petridge Farm remembers. And I remember when the crash happened, right? And this was in like the 2000s. I think it was like 07, 08, 09, 010, like somewhere in there, right? We had a housing crisis, whatnot in America. And you had the things with the car companies. They were, you know, starting to go bankrupt and all this other type of stuff. The United States government was like, no, no, no. Okay, we see like the American people, we see that they need help. We can't really help y'all. Y'all got to pull yourselves up, all of y'all, right? No stone unturned. Everybody got treated equal. All of y'all got to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, right? So you got white people losing their homes, black people losing their homes, Asian people, everybody was losing their homes, had to sell them, had to figure out what they were going to do. You had some families living out on the streets because that's how tough it was. But you know what the United States government did in front of everybody's face? They was like, "Oh, Ford, GM, Chrysler. Oh my God, you guys are going bankrupt? No problem. We the government, we're going to sit up there and back you up." So what does that tell you? That the United States government, Democrat and Republican, which you guys decide to vote for because you feel that either side has your best interest, they were like, "Hey, American people, we don't actually care about you, but we're going to show you how much worth that you have by helping out the corporations before we even look to help you out." And that's what they did. The United States government was bailing out those corporations, the car companies, before the American people. The United States government were helping out the banks before the American people. And y'all still sitting up there voting, and y'all still believe Democrat or Republican has your best interest. It's amazing how quickly people forget how they get treated by their own government who's supposed to work for them. Wow, that's diabolical work. But like I said, just as this clear-cut example, Illinois gave 9K. How many people in the United States right now, American citizens, how many of y'all have been in such like a tight situation that this could have very easily helped you out? And I'm talking about white, black, any of y'all. Because I've covered stories where white people going through some severe problems, severe, you know, housing, severe displacement. And I know that a lot of white people could have used 9K to help out their family in these situations. But guess what? You're not getting that though. You got other people, you're white in America, but you got Europeans who will come directly over here, who are Caucasian, who are white. They'll sit up there and get that money before you will, though. But remember, you're white in America. Your people founded this. Those Europeans just got up over here, but they're able to sit up there and outshine you and get more assistance and more help by way of the United States government. Explain that to me. Anybody that's white directly in this chat, explain that to me. Because I'm just, you know, like I try to tell people, let's not focus on the blacks. Let's focus on the government that you voted for. It don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. If you white, you Caucasian, you directly here, you voted for this. So how is it possible that other people that didn't do any of the amount of work that you put into this country, how are they able to get something from nothing while you get nothing at all, even though you sacrificed everything? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Because like I said, that's crazy to me. And I'm going to further move to the point that I made yesterday, that when I bring up topics like this and the focus, I can make it directly on the Caucasians, on the white Americans that I know that are sitting calmly and quietly in the background and don't want to speak up. When I happen to talk about this stuff where they can't just sit up there and deflect and they can move it to black, they're silent. They don't got nothing to say. It's crazy. Somebody said that this is a pretty much like a false statement, like the comparisons that you're doing, it doesn't make any type of sense. The thing that I'm basically saying is this: as a United States citizen, I've seen other United States citizens, white, black, or otherwise, have to beg, have to fight their own government in order to get 2 red cents to rub together. But I'm calmly watching as people from other countries come directly to the United States, get thousands of dollars. They're able to get SSM. Matter of fact, let me go. Where's that other information? Where's the other information? Because we're not about to sit up there and do this. I got you, no problem. No problem. Because like I said before, there's a lot of American citizens right now where they might not even have insurance and they've been paying directly into insurance and they're still getting treated just like trash. No problem. I got you. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Right. So let's go to this right here. Right. Immigrants' eligibility for government benefits varies depending on their immigration status, with some programs restricting access for certain non-citizens, while others offer limited benefits even to those without legal status. General eligibility. Undocumented immigrants generally ineligible for most federal public benefits except for emergency Medicaid, access to treatment of hospitals, emergency rooms, and some healthcare and nutrition programs like WIC. Lawful permanent residents, or LRPRs, may be eligible for some benefits, but often face a 5-year bar for certain programs, meaning that they must have been a lawful permanent resident for 5 years before becoming eligible for federal means tested benefits. Refugees and asylees may be eligible for benefits with similar requirements to LPRs, including the 5-year bar, but some may be eligible immediately. Non-immigrant visa holders generally ineligible for most benefits, right? So then I wanted to sit up there and see what would, such people be eligible for. Like, I just wanted to see this because again, I've seen a lot of American people have to struggle with insurance. They have to actually pay out of pocket, right? And even when they pay out of pocket and do what it is that they're supposed to do, their insurance get cut off. They don't have the correct coverage. The insurance companies can just so happen to sit up there and back off. But, it seems like it doesn't work like that with everybody else, right? So we got specific programs and restrictions. Medicaid. Undocumented immigrants are usually ineligible for full scope Medicaid, but can access emergency Medicaid services. SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Lawfully permitted residents are generally eligible for a 5-year waiting period, but some may be eligible immediately, such as children under 18, those who are blind or disabled, or those who were lawfully residing in the United States and 65 or older on August 22nd of 1996. 10th, temporary assistance for needy families. Restrictions apply to many qualified immigrants, including 5-year bar for most federal means tested public benefits. CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Program. Similar restrictions apply with Medicaid and TANF. SSI, Supplemental Security Income. Qualified aliens may be eligible, but with restrictions including a 5-year bar for many. Now, remember, I told y'all about SSI, and they set up there and told us who can receive SSI and who can't, right? Next, they got Medicare. Lawfully present immigrants can qualify for Medicare subject to certain restrictions, including a 5-year residency requirement for those who don't have sufficient work history. Public housing in Section 8. Lawfully permanent residents are eligible subject to a 5-year bar. Public education. Undocumented children are entitled to public education from Head Start through high school. Emergency services. Documented immigrants can access emergency services, including emergency rooms, visit, and emergency disaster relief non-cash. WIC. Women, infants, and children. Undocumented immigrants are eligible for WIC benefits. Now, the main thing that I've understood when it deals with America is that if you have an American, mom directly out here and things of that nature, they like to happen to tell American people like, hey, you guys need to actually start working. You guys got to start moving. You got to start doing this. You got to start doing that. You're really draining the system, right? But yet you can have other people that'll come over here with 20 kids, 20 deep with a family, and they're all in one house, paid for by the government, paid for by the state, paid by with your tax dollars. Then on top of that, each one of them have some type of government assistance card. Go back to, what was it, Eric Adams. I did a story directly on him where they were just freely giving immigrants money. They were giving them debit cards with cash, thousands of dollars of cash showing it. And they only told them, they were like, hey, we're going to give you these thousands of dollars. Please spend it responsibly. Now, anybody that's a United States citizen, anybody that is a United States citizen that has ever had SNAP, EBT, whatever it is, don't the United States government specifically tell you that this is only for food? Taxpayer money, your taxpayer money, right? Because you need a little bit of assistance because maybe you might have just lost your job. Maybe you might have just got injured, so you're not able to work, right? So you got workers comp, and you also got like SNAP or EBT, right? For the short duration that it's taking you to get back on your feet, right? Don't the United States government tell you that your EBT is solely for food? But yet in certain states such as New York, they're giving thousands of dollars on debit cards, just simply telling them, hey, please just make sure you spend this money responsibly. Don't spend it on things that you're not supposed to. What? But I'm the one that's crazy. But I'm the one that's crazy. I'm the one that's sitting up there, you know, listing stuff, and it's like, oh, the position and how you're trying to make these statements and how you're doing it doesn't make any. It makes 100% sense. Like I said before, the United States government, go back to what I said before, the United States government, don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Like I said, everybody voted for this. The United States government does not care about you. That's the whole reason for me going over this. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason for me showcasing the video. That's the whole reason going through all the information I was able to list. Again, I put it directly in front of people so that people wouldn't be misled, so that people wouldn't think that, oh, you're just saying stuff just because you want to say stuff and Robert. No, I don't even care about that. That's whatever it is. This is the type of work that I would normally sit up there and do. But again, it's not really appreciated because people want to forego that information just for whatever else. Right? But like I said before, I'm doing the information and I'm putting it directly in front of people, but the same responses that I would normally get on other videos, I'm not sitting up there seeing here. The same animosity, the same angst, the same rah that people want to normally show up and give me in all of my other live streams, I'm not sitting up there getting it here when it deals with this important issue where it's affecting everybody in America. I don't happen to see the trolls was like, oh, but the blacks, you guys are always victims. But I'm talking about everybody that's in America now, though, right? And how it's affecting us and how the American government, which everybody voted for, is doing this to us. Where are all of those racists at? Where are all of those white people at right now? Where's all of that rah? Where's all of that? Oh, you blacks just want to be victims. No. I said Americans. So where's all that at? So I like I said, I'm waiting. I'm looking. Where are y'all at? Y'all sitting calmly directly in. We got 61 people here. I know some of y'all in the background white. I know some of y'all be waiting for me to do live streams so y'all can start trolling it. I'm waiting for y'all to start speaking. This is your time. You voted for Trump. You voted for Elon. They're sitting up there showing you the corruption. But then I had to sit up there and remind you how corrupt the government naturally is and how it's not beneficial to you, but it's beneficial to other people that are white and European. But you're white in America, and you're not able to benefit the same way that those Europeans are. Explain that to me. Anybody white directly in this, listening to this, explain that to me. Like I said, that's crazy to me. That's some diabolical work. Like I said before, y'all sitting up there voting for a government that's been robbing you hand over foot. Like I said, I don't care about the ends to the means of Elon, the Republican Party, or whatever it is that people are doing. When I happen to see something that makes sense and people are correct about something, people need to sit up there and focus. But like I said, white people, y'all don't really actually care about America. You've been trained and conditioned so well to deflect and to try to, oh, but black people this, oh, but look at the crime, look at the Democrats and the Democrat-run cities. Oh, but if we're going to talk about the voting, then like Elon said, it's the Democrat-run cities, it's the liberals, the lefties that's sitting up there doing that, Democrats that are allowing all of these illegals to do this. This will never happen in the red states. I need y'all white people to stop being fools. So somebody told me, Neil was like, don't put that vote on me. I've been boycotting since they conscripted me at the age of 5. That's cool. So if you saying don't put that on you, so move yourself out of the conversation. I never even knew who you were up until you told me who you were. So it's like, what are we talking about here? A hit dog. That's all I'm saying. Isn't that normally what a lot of people say? Normally people sit up and say a hit dog will holler. I didn't sit up there and specifically list any names. I generalized and said white people because white people vote for these governments. White people have the majority of the voting power in the movement in the United States, right? White people founded this. White people modernized America. White people made everything here in America, correct? So like I said, white people, this is your responsibility. This is your mess to sit up there and fix. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care where you are across the board. This is you. But y'all don't actually care because you can't aim this towards the black community and try to make us the poster child for it. So this is why y'all sitting silent with 60 people in this live stream in the background. This is crazy work. This is crazy. I've been continuously doing stories beyond any of the stories that people really want to come up here and try to rah with me about on live streams. The main important stories that I happen to cover, these are the main stories that nobody pays attention to. These are the main types of stories and videos that I used to do, that I would heavily do, that guess what? Nobody would happen to show up for. I would have a few people. I'll have a few people that would sit up there and show up and leave some comments, maybe about 5 or 10 or something like that. And then the video would get like a few hundred views. But then if I pull up some other videos, right? If I sit up there, look at this police brutality, look at this racism and guess what's going to happen? Like my last video that I just put up, that bad boy is sitting up there at like 40K right now with about 331 comments. If I do a video about politics, trying to let people know how the government is robbing them, how they're misusing funds, how they're doing this and doing that, silence. I've literally shown over the years how everybody is conditioned to respond and care about one thing and to dismiss and not care about something else. And I'm talking about everybody. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care what you are. All of y'all had literally been conditioned by this system to care about anything dealing with color, dealing anything with race, anything that's magically specifically about you. But when it's generalized and it's magnified and focused on everybody, affecting everybody at the same time, everybody is silent. Look at that. But y'all roll up here and y'all want to debate me during live streams. Y'all want to make me seem like I'm the dodo. Y'all want to make me seem like I'm the clown. Y'all want to make me seem like I'm problematic. I'm divisive. I'm a segregationalist. I'm this, I'm that. That's some crazy work. Like I said, I've been doing this 4 years, quietly just sitting by so I can just wait for a moment. Here we are. Matter of fact, look at the numbers on the live stream. We only got about like 79 people here. Previous live streams that I've done, some of y'all have been here. We had excess of like 60K in numbers, 60K, 40K, 25K, 50. We've had excess of those numbers take place in these live streams. That we're not informative, but when you have informative videos and you give people information like they always state, look at the numbers. Like I said, I can only do what it is that people want me to do. If y'all want to sit up there and see the racism, y'all want to see men versus women, black versus, I'm going to give you just that. Whatever you order, that's how I'm going to prepare it. I am not going to fight against the majority and what it is that they don't want. You don't want information, I'm not going to sit up there and do my due diligence and the hard work and give that directly to you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to sit up there and waste my energy and deliver something that I know that 100% you don't care about up until it hits your doorstep. And like I told you before, I don't care if you're black or white. By the time it hits your doorstep, it's already too late. What you want me to do about it? Why you want me to talk about it now? Because when I was talking about it earlier, you was nowhere to be found. So now when I'm focused on other topics, now you want me to bring it back up because it's good for you. Nah. That's not how we work. I used to work like that. And like I keep telling people before, I'm not like every other content creator, because it gets to a point in time where you get tired of doing certain stuff and you notice that you try to bend the knee. And this is me being transparent and honest. You want to bend the knee. You want to try to, inform people. You want to try to educate people as you're being educated. But you understand that, people just want to be left lost. And I'm like, all right, no problem. I got you. I will give you whatever it is that you want to sit up there and see. So if you want to sit up there, if your whole thing is like, black women hate black men, no problem. I got you. Let me sit up there and put some videos up for you. If you're stuck in the rut and you feel that, all black men hate black women, no problem. I got videos for you. If you feel like the black community is completely just destruction, drugs and gangs and everything and fights, no problem. I got you on that. I can give you exactly what it is that you see, what it exactly is that you love, what it is that you would accept. Like I said, I don't know what else to sit up there and tell people. I don't know what else to tell people. Like I said, y'all don't understand. And again, I'm not going to say that I speak for a lot of other black content creators that are directly in the space. But I know that a lot of other black content creators probably aren't going to say anything because they don't feel like hearing people trying to tell them off. They don't want to lose subscribers or anything like that. For me, I just started getting to a point where I just don't even care. I've had people subscribe, unsubscribe, all this other type of stuff, try to quote unquote send out a virtue signal. Oh, I'm unsubscribing to this unsubscribe. Leave. I don't need you here. I don't need you here. I can do whatever else. I'll sit up there and just start talking about movies or something. Whatever. It's like I said, it's whatever. If you hate me, dislike me, it is what it is. But the one thing can't nobody ever sit up there and tell me is that Seiji never tried to give out information to educate people on things actually going on. I did that. And type this in too, right? Because we're dealing with reparations, right? It's still coming in, right? So remember how I sat up there and said that I watched the United States government basically lie and say that we don't have money in order to do reparations, in order to start, that healing process, as they normally love to say. So you type in, how much money did the government spend during the pandemic? This is what I got. They said the United States government, matter of fact, I'm not even going to do it like that. Let me just give this to you real quick. Because like I said, I don't want anybody just thinking I'm just saying things just to say, oh, he's really a racist. He's no problem. I got you. There you go. Right. So we're reading along. Right. So it said the United States government spent approximately 4.6 trillion in response to the pandemic. This money was used for economic relief, healthcare, and emergency support programs, direct payments to Americans, 869 billion, stimulus checks, right, ranging from $1,206 to $1,400 payments, unemployment benefits, 873 billion, expanded unemployment programs, PUA, PEUCA, FPUC, right? Number 3, small business relief, 1.2 trillion. Paycheck Program Protection, or PPP loans, economic injury disaster, or the EIDL, right? Number 4, healthcare and COVID-19 response, right? 530 billion for the vaccines, testing, hospitals, and medical supplies. Number 5, state and government aid, 745 billion, relief funds to state, cities, and schools. Number 6, other programs, 383 billion, rental assistance, food aid, and transportation support. Then we also had major relief packages, right? The CARES Act, March 2020, 2.2 trillion. Consolidated Appropriations Act, December 2020, 900 billion. American Rescue Plan, March of 2021, 1.9 trillion. Wow, that's a lot of money that instantly the United States government was able to find in their back pocket, that they normally stated that we don't have any money, we're broke. Wow, look at that. How can the United States government find money when we're continuously in debt and we're broke? Where did this money come from? Anybody that's white, please let me know. Anybody that's white, let me know where any of these trillions of dollars came from, where any of these billions, where any of these hundreds of millions. We're broke, we're in debt. Where did this money come from? Where did they instantly get this from? Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know. Because that's crazy to me. Somebody said Biden had the Fed print money. You got to understand. I want you to understand this. If you're white, I want you to understand your party does not care for you. You can be as deep red Republican as you want to be. The government doesn't care for you. Republicans don't care for you. The Democrats don't care for you. I'm not sure what about that does not tick. I'm not sure what about that, why people can't critically think and look outside of the box. I'm a little bit lost. At no point in time has the United States government cared about the United States citizens. I'll wait. Give me the hundreds of times that the United States government 100% benefited and cared about the United States people. Let me know. Give me the hundreds out of all of the history that we got in the United States. Somebody that's white, give me those times. List me off those hundreds of times that the United States was like, yeah, we're 100% for the people. We're 100% backing the people. We're 100% aiding. Show me that. Because like I said, I learned from y'all that the government is supposed to work for you, not you work for them. So I'm waiting.